the sake of it.
It's hard to believe that in the middle of record inflation, Mint Mobile is actually lowering prices. Every plan, even unlimited.
But then, as far as the B-2 bombers that flew over the crowd and the military jets, why y'all disrespect the tank that was already out there for his birthday? That tank was already out there for his birthday. That tank not invited to the... It ain't like this tank got stage fright. It's less people here than it was at his birthday. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all. We highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
And sometimes the pictures really don't tell the full story, because if you look behind us, you see, okay, there are a couple hundred people back there, but the truth is, when you make your way over here and you're in a wash of people,
you know, the kind of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, when we were last here, we explored the hot mess that was Trump's Freedom 250. What'd you say? Look at his sunglasses. What's in his sunglasses? Oh, no. Never mind, zoom back. Versus COVID, who did it better? Oh, social distancing, because didn't nobody come down. Didn't nobody come down to it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And now that makes sense. It was another one that I saw. Somebody said, you know, I thought this was the reflecting pool for a second. That makes perfect sense. I thought we could circle back around, because there is this narrative that has been building amongst right-wingers and MAGAs. Those still on board, so therefore those without operable brains, but they know how to repeat stuff. And it is the idea that it is somehow a hatred of America that we don't attend the church of Trump. The fact that actually holding somebody accountable for not only the things he does, but the things he makes about himself somehow is anti-American. Now, I know for so many of you that recognize that is literally the most American thing that you could possibly do. You poke all of the holes through that. But I just wanted to slow roast this one. I got time today. 10 states, Connecticut, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, and Pennsylvania have confirmed they will not send an official delegation to the Great American State Fair on the National Mall in celebration of America's 250th. 9 of the states are led by Democratic governors, with Vermont being the only Republican-governed state to decline involvement so far. Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did here. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, now let me look underneath your post. It's good that these radicalized states continue to expose themselves. I don't understand this. So much hate for this country from the fringe left. Can we deport them to Haiti or exchange them for the European World Cup fans who love America and wanted to stay here? You mean these World Cup fans? You mean these World Cup fans right here? Or maybe you talking about these World Cup fans? Or maybe you talk about these World Cup fans.
I'm glad I'm a witness to this. I'm glad I'm here to see this.
Huh. Well, they could definitely fit right in here because that's what we do. Nice strato. I see you got a whole lot of Democrats in control. They ruin states and cities, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You see Josh Shapiro does not represent me. Exactly. So help me out with this. So Josh Shapiro doesn't represent you, even though he is the elected official of your said state. But we all supposed to kneel at the golden Trump? Although y'all ain't slick, we know exactly what this is. I worked at the Smithsonian, specifically raised money for the 250th. What I want people to know is we secured millions of private philanthropy to host a month-long folk life festival on the mall, the Festival of Festivals. We're going to feature well-known festivals, think Burning Man, Farm Aid, Grand Ole Opry, etc., as well as smaller local and regional festivals from across the U.S. and territories. The goal was to feature truly the best and most beautiful creative expression in music, dance, arts, and craft traditions, food, community, etc. Can't name names, so plan was to have headliners every night for free concerts. Think the types of names who might be affiliated with the aforementioned large festivals. Stars were willing to perform because it was under the banner of the Smithsonian. It had to be all scrapped because the administration would not release permits to host on the mall. The money went elsewhere, but our nation was robbed of what would have been a once-in-a-generation cultural moment. The money went elsewhere, huh? The money went elsewhere, huh?
This morning, President Trump defending the $2.2 billion in income in his first year back in office as he faces fresh questions about his finances. Our Mary Bruce asking,
The critics who say you're profiting off the presidency, Mr.
Well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting.
the stock market does not account for the bulk of the president's wealth.
America's 250 was going to be like a world fair that would have attracted millions of people. But Trump stole the money, denied permits, and renamed it Freedom 250 so he could make it all about himself and Republicans. Trump stole America's birthday from you. And you know what? You gave me all the evidence underneath your initial post slamming all of the Democrats and how they ruin everything. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. No, because I remember back in the day where people had political savvy, but now he gave you all the boldness to just say the thing, and now you got nowhere to go after that. Oh. It should probably be a bigger story that there was a normal bipartisan American 50 organization, but then Trump decided to launch his own competing right-wing grift version and ruined everything. And let's go ahead and talk about that right there, because we don't dwell enough on the extent to which the MAGAs and the right-wingers have completely bastardized this idea of patriotism. So he is free to make America's 250th birthday about a celebration of himself. And MAGAdom has a whole faux arch, which, by the way, has all the construction of one of those balsa wood.
When you trade options at Tasty Trade, you see your probability of profit and loss right where you need it. Earn up to
Cars I used to make as a kid when I was in Boy Scouts before they kicked me out for lifting all the Game Boy games. So he is free to do that. But if we don't want to go along with the flagellation of Trump and his administration, the countrywide kneeling at the feet of his golden statue. Meanwhile, y'all tell me that this is a populist movement, right? This is a populist. He's here for y'all, right? He's here for the people. But the whole arch of himself had to go to the courts to get his name taken off the Kennedy Center. Like, who y'all Who y'all think y'all voted? Like really? Where do you think this is going? Oh, this is a good one. The evil leaders of those states that won by voting fraud. The citizens are mortified. Huh. Voter fraud. Huh. So let me get this straight. So they did voter fraud to get elected, but not to prevent Trump from being elected? Now that would be odd. No, it makes about as much sense as y'all literally still being on board right now. It makes that much sense. Now, I have gone through the entire feed, and I can't find a single post that is not stroking Donald Trump in a way that would make Melania jealous, you know, if she cared about him at all. But it's about America, right? A small man made America's greatness all about him. Was that what I smelled this weekend? Was that what I smelled this weekend? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Trump is making the 250th small. The state fair rally was an empty celebration of a man instead of a country. Most Americans seem to understand that the 4th of July is about something bigger than ourselves. It's about celebrating our democracy and our role as citizens, as equals in it. Hey, MAGA. Hey, MAGA. He said equals. Equals. It's a math. What you mean, what's math? That's why y'all elected him. That's why y'all voted on the economy and chose Trump. Y'all don't even know what math is. George Washington understood what that meant. In his last will and testament, he described himself as a citizen of the United States and lately president of the same. He cherished being an American citizen, a title he and the other American revolutionaries helped create, holding that status even more dear than a temporary honor of the presidency. If only Donald Trump understood any of this. I got a question. You said he wrote it in his last will and testament? That's why he don't understand it. That's why, can you read? Yeah, that's why he don't understand it. Yeah. Tonight, Trump made a brief appearance at the Great American State Fair in Washington, D.C., which is supposed to be a 250th birthday celebration for the greatest democracy in human history. He treated it instead as a kind of MAGA mini rally. From the start, the event seemed, at least on television, to have something of a deflated air about it, perhaps because the entertainment lineup was thin. I'm sorry, did you say it was thin? No, because them goats was pretty plump. Them goats that I heard was pretty plump, so now you good.
That's the bravery we're all lined up. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special. Takes a lot to put your left in everybody first.
Multiple artists canceled their participation once they realized that Trump would use the evening for a partisan spectacle rather than a civic celebration. Various musical and choral units of the U.S. Armed Forces picked up the slack, and some military jets, including a B-2 bomber, flew over the crowd, which was nice. Now, first of all, we already did a whole video all about the cancellations. We have definitely addressed that. Big Mouth Billy Bass has pulled out of performing at the America 250 celebration. I guess they got a bunch of boomer living rooms to perform in that day. Don't tell me. They lost freecreditreport.com. How do you lose cards for kids and freecreditreport.com? One of them bands got to play the America 250. They gonna be left with the taste of the TV.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Breaking, the Taste the Biscuit duo have pulled out of the Great American State Fair. Ooh, Taste the Biscuits. Trump, you down bad. But then, as far as the B-2 bombers that flew over the crowd and the military jets, why y'all disrespect the tank that was already out there for his birthday? That tank was already out there for his birthday. That tank not invited to It ain't like the tank got stage fright. It's less people here than it was at his birthday. Then Trump delivered a short speech and managed to bring everything down to his level, which is to say a presidential moment that could have been celebratory and grand became, like the character of the man himself, very small. After dashing off some boilerplate phrases about American history, Trump went for division, grievance, and self-congratulation. He trotted out the usual rally phrases. The United States was once a dead country. Everyone's laughing at us. We're the hottest country in the world, and so on. He took a reality challenge victory lap on Iran, even as the Iranians earlier today told him to pound sand about nuclear inspections. He assured the American people that he would stop, quote, transgender uteralization and not allow men to play in women's sports. DEI, critical race theory, the Gulf of America, all the usual red meat issues from his rallies made appearances. I'm sorry.
Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, and Chili are coming to a theatre near you.
Do you want to play musical statues?
Join the Healers in their first ever live stage show, Bluey's Big Play. A fun-filled show made for the whole family. It's Bluey as you've never seen it before, brought to real life. We can't wait to see you there. For more information, go to blueylive.com.
I'm really proud of the fact that my grandfather started this company in 1947, and we've been family-owned and operated ever since. When you find yourself needing your glass repaired or replaced, our team is here to help. Although we're over 75 years old, we're committed to investing in new technologies to improve our customer experience every day.
We contacted Krieger Glass to put in new windows at our clubhouse here in Italy. They were very dependable, very friendly, and answered every question we had about our installation and very kind.
We've used Krieger Glass for custom work in our new home, and it's been a great experience. They've been reliable, trustworthy, they've answered all our questions, and they've been with us every step of the way.
Our commitment to you goes beyond our quality work. You're considered part of the family here.
No, I'm talking to the girl that was slamming all the Democrats for not wanting to participate in this celebration of America. Well, you didn't tell him. You didn't tell him. And, you know, what's crazy is this is just such a departure from how he normally is, because he normally is so uniting. And he normally is so, you know, self-effacing. So this was, who could have predicted? You know, I guess those Democrats just took a shot that he was going to make this about himself. I guess they just took a shot and they just got lucky. You know what I mean? As one might expect at a celebration of democracy, he also mentioned a random program he likes, making interest on loans for the purchase of American cars tax deductible. He castigated his predecessors for their shortcomings and especially for their neglect of the Capitol. He even found time to rail about the supposed vandals who wrecked the reflecting pool. Washington, as he said, was now the safest, prettiest, cleanest city in America, all because of him. Now, that's interesting he brought up the reflecting pool, because we definitely thought we were looking at the reflecting pool when we were looking at the crowd for this. Yeah, we definitely thought we were looking right at the reflecting pool. And as somebody who lives in the nation's capital, I can't tell you how uniting it is to hear how much he slandered the city and the people that live in it, but now it's safe and pretty because of him. Celebration of America, you said? Is that what that's what y'all celebration of America, right, MAGA? Trump did at various points read what his speechwriters probably thought were elevated reflections on America and his triumphs. He reeled off hackneyed references to railroads and skyscrapers, name-checked various U.S. military victories, and dropped a bizarre reference to the storied alleys of Boston, whatever that meant. I lived in Boston. I know some of those alleys. Storied is not a word that comes to mind. I don't want to hear about what happened in them alleys. I'm good on that. Man. I'm good on them alleys. I've done some shows in Boston. I know how they get down in them alleys. Shout out to Roxbury. Did he say anything about the airports and protecting the airports in the Revolutionary War? Well, come on, Trump, play the hits, baby.
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
To the extent that Trump's appearance was about anything besides Trump, it was about a kind of vulgar nationalism. Trump cannot comprehend patriotism, the love of one's country. Instead, he defaults to nationalism, the sour and hostile glorification of one's own nation over everyone else's. He does this because he views the world the way he apparently has viewed most things in his life, as a competition. Don't say that. Don't say it's a competition. Cause we can do them split screens with Obama. Don't say it. That's not what you want. That is not what you want. I can tell you that right now. We just seen how many people got together down in Chicago. I don't even be communicating this to you right now, but it is what it is. You're the one that always want to bring up Barack Hussein Obama. What the social distancing over there? I can tell you that right now, because your boy was trying to get in. Your boy was trying to get in. Hey, when I was scootering downtown, I was working my way around that, because I didn't even want them to count me as one of the people that might have attended. It is not enough for him to love America. The United States is not just great. It must be better than all those other places. It has better people, a better military, a better economy. Some of that is true, but a patriot celebrates love of country for its own sake, not as a continual comparison with others. I'm gonna jump in right here. So you got this whole idea about America can't just be great; it has to be great at the expense of others. Well, take that to its logical conclusion, right? Because he can't just be great; he has to be great at the expense of others. His party can't just be great; they have to be great at the expense of others. MAGA can't just be great; they have to be great at the expense of others. And that is why he is completely incapable of acting as a suitable steward for the country's birthday in anything that would be remotely uniting. And MAGA, we have had a decade of evidence to know this. So nice try with the whole "you just hate America" thing. We have all of the receipts, not just from his mouth, but the actual receipts for the America 250 that we were supposed to have. The United States is worth the loyalty of every citizen because of what it is, because of its eternal character. But for Trump, it is great only insofar as it is superior to some other place, because otherwise those other nations are always laughing, taking advantage, and disrespecting us. All Trump had to do tonight was walk out on stage and remind the American people that the nation and its ideals are bigger than all of us. He could have told us that we're blessed to live in freedom and plenty. He could have reminded us that the survival of the American experiment and the freedom guaranteed in the Constitution are miracles that bless every person who lives here. Instead, he told America that he's great, and that because he's great, America is great, and thanks to him, it's now better than everywhere else. And then a handsome man in a bright military dress uniform saying YMCA to him as the President of the United States danced and smiled. Well, I'm glad they ended with the military. I'm glad they ended with the military, that he shows so much respect to on a regular basis. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. That is phenomenal. Suckers and losers at 1,000%. And matter of fact, since we are talking about the Democrats who didn't want to participate in Trump's legislation, didn't he just post himself in a military uniform juxtaposed with Obama? The same weekend we celebrate America? The same weekend. Y'all got the wrong one for this case. He can't go an hour without compromising your entire premise about how we're supposed to move in celebration of America. Not 1 hour. Now, did he happen to say anything? Did he happen to say anything about the Civil War? Did he say anything about the Civil War? No reason. North Carolina forced the Great American State Fair to get rid of the Confederate flag. Josh Stein, the North Carolina governor, has condemned a display that includes a Confederate flag inside the state's pavilion at the Great American State Fair. Quote, the flag does not represent North Carolina. America 250 is about unity and bringing our nation together. We are pleased the flag that did the opposite has now been taken down. Josh Stein. Yeah, you said America 250 is about unity. This is not America 250. No, this is not. This is Freedom 250. That's what this is. Freedom 250. Yeah, no, this is where we talk about putting back Confederate monuments. This is where, what did girl think? She said we celebrate in America, right? So that would include taking up arms against the country. That would include that. Yeah, I got you.
Summer, the cup is bigger than ever, and DraftKings has you covered wherever you live. Every match, every goal, every iconic celebration that gets blown out of proportion by the international media. Pinky's up.
New DraftKings customers. Spend $5 and get $200 in total bonuses. And get in the game nationwide with DraftKings. Now live in all 50 states. The crown is yours.
The Confederate flag at the North Carolina booth is a fitting symbol of how this whole enterprise has been managed. A symbol that the state never chose, attached to its flag without permission, displayed at an event meant to celebrate unity. You mean to tell me they did this against the state's wishes? They just did what they wanted to do against the wishes of the state. Just made sure that they were going to impose their will on someone else. They are nothing if not consistent. They are nothing if not consistent. No. And this what's so bad about it. Not only is it the wrong flag for North Carolina, it's the wrong flag for the Confederacy. I have no problem with the Confederate flag as long as it's the historically accurate version.